Hi, beautiful souls. Today I will share the quality of courage, one of the qualities of mastery, one of the qualities of self-mastery that we must all, well, you don't have to do anything, but if you are on the ascension path and you want to become a master in this now, an organic master, a master going through the processes of becoming and remembering that you are, then courage is one of those qualities that you want to make sure that you hone. There are a lot of very fearful people in this world, and those that are courageous sometimes do experience fear. It's natural. Sometimes you really have to look fear in the face and make friends with it and see it as a puppy or something. Soften its edges so that you are able to play with it and becomes pliable. It's not always easy to step into the shoes of courage. There are lots of things that can happen in this world that makes us doubtful and makes us wonder if we're able to be capable enough to step into those shoes. And so often what people will do is they will walk away because they'll feel that that's the easiest thing that they can do, because they don't want to get involved and they just want to make things as, I suppose, easy as possible for themselves. But there are opportunities when you step into your courage, when you are courageous and you move forwards, embracing something that is terrifying. Like, for instance, you've got somebody and they have a massive spear and they're walking you down the gangplank of a pirate ship, and you don't really want to fall into the ocean from a massive height with your legs and arms bound. But if you don't move forwards, hey, you don't know what could happen. I mean, somebody might poke you with the metal spike. So you you move forwards and you're terrified and you're absolutely like, oh my God, am I going to be able to cope with this? But there's a spark inside you go, but what if I'm able to untangle myself once I hit the water? What if I'm able to actually escape from this? What if I'm able to swim to the shore? What if? So sometimes courage doesn't actually always look the way people assume it's going to look. Sometimes it's just about like the what ifs, you know what? I believe there's always a solution. There's always a chance. There's always a miracle waiting to be born. Will I allow that miracle in? Will I allow more miracles in by stepping forth and being courageous in every moment? I have what is considered in the medical profession as a terminal illness, and that's very difficult for a lot of people to consider, because there are some people that will be very disempowering and will be like, oh, are you all right, and oh, poor you, and all of this sort of stuff. And I'm very present about when people project onto me, and I correct them, because I can't allow any of that kind of nonsense, even the well wishes and stuff like this. Be very considered about how you express yourself, because everything is about courage and love and grace and ease, or polarity, which is fear and frightenedness. Oh, I'm frightened. What if they die? What if this? There's what ifs on both sides, you see. You can look for the negative, oh, what if they die? But you could also look at the positive, what if they live? What if they exceed your greatest expectations? This is the thing. I've witnessed this through life. When you're riding the high wave, everyone wants to be around you. Everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody wants to support you, and they want to tell you how great you are. When you're going through troubles and you're in the thick of it, people dissipate. They disappear because they lack courage to support that is triggering them, because they are unhealed. It triggers them because they are unhealed beings, and they lack the courage to do something about it within themselves. It's very interesting. When I was in the top of my game in the restaurant industry, and I had a huge workforce. I mean, you work as a team, so it's not that anybody is considered. I don't consider anyone to be beneath me, but I certainly expect people to do the job and to do the job well. And I had a very tight ship. Everything was really organized and clear, but a lot of respect and reverence given to all beings in my workforce and also my customers, obviously. And everybody wanted a piece of me. My goodness, I cannot tell you just how in demand I was. Oh, za 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 za. You know, like people coming in telling me what a wonderful restaurant this is, the food's amazing, the staff are so well trained, they're so brilliant, they're so, you know, this and that and the other, and it's lovely. Believe me, it's a really nice feeling when you're on top of your game. It's a wonderful feeling when you're riding your high wave. And then when you go, you know what, I'm done here, I've done this, now it's time to move on, and I left and I moved on. A very courageous decision, because not many people will leave a brilliant career on when they're riding a high wave to go and do something which is completely unknown. But I've always been somebody that finds myself in a pickle here and there, because I want to keep growing, and I had stopped growing. Even though I was doing well and was successful, I had I had I had stunted myself. I was really brilliant, but I needed more. I needed to try something else, and I needed to become masterful at something else, and I needed to be courageous and move forwards. And I am. I'm probably the most courageous person I actually know, and that's the truth. And I'm not saying that as in a big-headed way. That's just how it is. And so I left, and I watched how everyone just fell away. And I found that fascinating. I thought, gosh, you shallow bunch. I'm no longer, that person with that title and all of that success, and now you all just fall away. It teaches you a lot. It shows you what people are. It shows you where they're operating from. Most people are operating from very low levels. Most people are operating from a space where they do not know themselves. They do not realize themselves. They do not have the courage to unpack the trauma that they've held from probably a long time. And this is the thing that I invite you each to consider and ask yourselves. What is the most traumatic thing you have experienced? And how is it shaping your world now? And how is it limiting you from being a courageous person and pursuing things with courage and not even worrying and overthinking about things? Like overthinking, is this a good idea to do this? Is this a good idea to do that? Going from your heart. This is it. Courage is a heart-based thing. It's a heart-based quality. And I say these daily videos, and it really is to help people to awaken to deeper depths of themselves and to see really the truth of who they really are, to awaken, to practice their mastery skills, become self-masters, and then master their multi-dimensionality so they can bring everything that they have ever been through all time, spaces, and realities from beginningless time into this now, and live as a divine master. And divine masters are courage. They are full of courage. They are full of love. They are full of compassion. And I'm, working it out as I go along. And like I've said before, it's never crowded on the leading edge. And I'm sure that there's many of you that understand that. Some of my videos, and I read some of the comments, and they don't always, maybe I'm not very clear sometimes because they don't always capture everything that I say. And so I try and say things in as many different ways, because the thing is the earth is changing. And I know a lot of people don't imagine that or can't see that because they're so used to what is. But it is changing. And so the more people that are actually able to raise their consciousness, the better it is. It really is a really good idea to do this. I mean, I won't go into it so much because I'm not an expert on space weather. I'm not an expert on things that aren't always easy to explain. But when I see things through what is truth, as in out here, what most people see is illusionary because they have not uncovered those parts of themselves to reveal truth. They're still working through earth the earth school. They're still working through the lower earth school. They're still playing in the 3D and the 4D dimensions. And when people still hang on to those 3D, fourth dimensions, they can't possibly see the real truth of what is going on. And you can't explain the real truth to people that aren't ready for it, because it will frighten them. And they won't know how to actually embrace what is actually going on until they see it for themselves. People have to see things for themselves. But you know, one of the most important things is to be really courageous about how you're living. You know, don't just take a seat back and try and take the easy option because you think that will be the easiest thing to do. Because believe me, it will bite you on the arse. Your highest self and your almighty and presence and all divine aspects of you, they don't give a toss about the human. They don't care that the human, would rather do this because its ego likes that and that's comfortable for them. You're not here for that. You're not here to play it safe. You're not here to be a tidy little compact human living in a box. That's not what's happening. This is why so many people are being shaken up, because that's not what your game is. That's not what you're here to do. So if you want to actually fulfill the reason why you're here, you have got to become super courageous, and you have got to keep stepping up and doing things even when it's hard, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it's like, oh, I don't know, my head doesn't like this. No, it's not your head, it's your ego. Your ego doesn't like it. What is your heart telling you? The more you come into your heart, to live from your heart, be a divine warrior, the better you will find everything on this earth, because you will start to feel truly alive. And that's vibrant. That's how we should be living. But you also help others by assisting the frequency to rise. You assist others by leading the way as a divine leader. Everybody should be their own divine leader, but it helps for us to lead when others lead. And again, like I said, you know, those that are courageous and on the leading edge are the ones that help the collective to start to turn around. And that turning around is like turning the Titanic, you know. It doesn't just happen very quickly. It's sort of a process, because they want proof. They want proof. They want proof of science, and they want proof of this and that and the other before they dare to do anything, because they're too scared. Don't be too scared, dear ones. I'm sure you're not. Anyone watching this channel is likely not to be a scared individual. But I do say this because I do really feel that it's vital for moving forwards to stand in your courage and not just hide and play it safe. And certainly the kind of people I wish to be around are those that are courageous enough to be truthful about who they are, courageous enough to actually show their face, and courageous enough to lead by example, and courageous enough to be strong even when they're challenged and even when things look bleak. And so I remind you all, step into your highest version. This is how we move through these realms. Step into it and rejoice, because this is just a game. The lower realms is a game. When you move past the 3D and the 4D and you're in the 5D, everything just sort of collapses into one. So you can be 5D, 6D, 7D, 12D, you can be everything all at once. It's the dimensions are very differently spread out. And it's a very different story, And do your best not to keep revisiting the old dimensions, because it only pulls you back in. It's so easy to get sucked back into 4D. If you're living mostly in higher realms, and then you concentrate on something that's very, very lower frequency, you get sucked in so easily. So in order to keep your feathers clean, because it kind of is like that. You have a sort of like a different feeling around you. It's sort of like a shimmery feeling that all of the density just floats off and falls off and then falls away from. And it's not it's a material that's unlike an earthly material. It's kind of like you are almost like a bird in a way. I suppose maybe that's a bird aspect, a galactic aspect of me that I notice and realize, which has helped me to move forwards and helped me to become a higher dimensional aspect, or at least experience and exist from a higher dimensional place right now, even though I'm surrounded by so many people that are of a lower vibration. And you want to be a positive influence without manipulating, without trying to make people see your way. If people want to see your way, that's great, but if you're too forceful, then you make them back off. And so these videos offer an opportunity for me able to share what it is that how I'm existing from and what I'm experiencing for others that are interested and others that are also probably doing the same thing and what have you. And just to remind each other, like, well, we're moving forwards. What mastery skills are we polishing today? How are we becoming more in tune with those higher realms? How are we able to play with our gifts? What are we actually up to? What are we doing? How are we playing? Where are we playing? Where's our focus? Who are we co-creating with? Are they of the similar vibration? Is there anybody that's keeping us down? Is there anybody that is making us feel less than? Whatever it might be. Be courageous, my dear friends. Cut away everything that is not meant for you and walk forwards fearlessly, even if you don't know what lies ahead, because it will be the best thing that you can do. I wish you all joy, infinite blessings and love. Thank you for watching. My name's Zaza, and it's not cold, but it doesn't look exactly warm here. Lots of love.